Hello YouTube, this is Old School from WhatTheBuck.net doing a little ad hoc video for the Dolphins game, which kicks off today at 7 o'clock down at Landshark Stadium. It'll be televised for Bucs fans. A lot of Bucs fans are concerned about blackouts. If it's an away game, obviously you don't have to worry about that. Home games, you're going to have to be worried. Unless there's some sort of miraculous turnaround this year by the team, I think you're going to see blackouts for at least 4 games, potentially more than that, to be quite honest, unless some away fans come in. But today, we've got the Dolphins. Today, our season kicks off. Everyone's, well, not everyone, but damn near everyone's 0-0. And all we have is excitement. And I think it's a little bit odd to go into a game like this and try and do a preview or analysis or any of those sorts of things, because in preseason, really, these are just glorified scrimmages. This is practice with live fire, guys who aren't running your system, and a chance to evaluate your roster, because you're going to have to get down to your roster cut soon. You've got guys who are at the third, fourth, and fifth string that you're going to have to decide and go through and figure out who's going to make the team and who's not. And I think that from a coaching perspective and from a Bucs fans perspective right now, we've got to focus on some fundamentals. As a team that's rebuilding, with the amount of youth we have on the squad, with the lack of momentum that we generated last year, with the exception on the defensive side of the ball, I think it's critical that we look at some really basic things. One is intensity. I think that we've got to be intense in everything we do. I think our offensive line and defensive line are going to set the tone. I think that I can expect Geno Hayes and Quincy Black and Barrett Ruud and the linebacking core on the defensive side to bring a little bit of heat. That's got to permeate the entire team. They've all got to get that intensity. It's not so much that they've got to be perfect, because they're not going to be, right? But get wherever the hell you're going fast, and when you get there, make impact. That's really got to be the key. You're going to make mistakes. That's what the coaches are for. But make sure that you're moving with a purpose. Hand in hand with that is aggression, right? When you don't have a team that has 5, 7 years of experience together, you've got to overcompensate with that intensity and that aggression. You've got to make sure that you're running harder, you're hitting harder, and you're reacting better than the other guys are. And we got to see those things. And those are things that aren't predicated on someone having 5 years, 7 years, 10 years experience in the league, right? That's an effort question. So from a coaching perspective, it's all about effort, pressure, and pressure really goes on both sides of this. With the defense, with the way our defense is structured, we've got to get pressure. The front four were not able to do it last year in Bates' system. It got a little bit better towards the end of the year when Raheem Morris took over. We obviously put a lot of draft mustard into McCoy and Price. Price did not make the trip today, along with Talib, and Winslow's not going to play today. A couple of other players that aren't quite as critical, but we're going to see Roy Miller, Dre Moore, Ryan Sims, Gerald McCoy, all in the middle. We're going to see what Styles White can do on the outside, what Kyle Moore can do, Tim Crowder, Michael Bennett. These guys have got to generate pressure, because that's what's going to lead to turnovers. All of these things come together into a snowball, and everyone who watches football knows this. But again, in some ways, when you're a young team and you have no real pressure on you because there are no expectations, you can focus on these fundamentals. And I know that they sound incredibly simplistic, but this is not about X's and O's right now. This is about making sure that guys are out there and putting out the effort. And from an efficiency perspective, this is where you've got to take care of the ball, right? Our quarterbacks, whether it's Freeman or Johnson, and I don't mean to discredit Rudy Carpenter. I just don't think he's that good. I don't think he's going to be on the squad. I think we're going to carry 2 quarterbacks. Johnson and Freeman both have to demonstrate that they can make good decisions. And when they deliver the football, they need to deliver the football to the target. There was a problem with accuracy with both these guys last year, and it's continued through the offseason program as well. So that's going to have to improve. Who you're going to see, I expect to see a lot of Michael Clayton, because this guy's got to impress or he's going to be out. He's dropped way down the chart on the receiving stack, and so I think you're going to see the young guys, Williams and Ben and Strouder, are going to get a lot of playing time. I think you're going to see Michael Spurlock get a lot of time, because I think that there's a big decision point here with Clifton Smith, who didn't make the trip either. I think that Clifton Smith has shown that he's a tremendous return player, but he has not shown the ability to transfer that to be a running back. He has a tendency to drop the ball, and by that I mean fumble. When you got a guy like Kareem Huggins that's fighting for playing time and he can't get in because we're keeping Clifton Smith, who's really a single source player, when there are other teams out there that need a return specialist, and we've got guys like Spurlock and Strouder who can fill in that role, I think that Clifton's a make it or break it guy. I'm surprised that he's not playing right now, because I think right now he's trying to put up film to get a trade. Who's going to win? I don't know. I always pick the Bucs and never pick against the Bucs. I do think you're going to see some excitement on defense that we haven't seen in Tampa in a while. I think you're going to see that same kind of speed, sideline to sideline. And I think on offense, I'm hoping what we're going to see is Coach Manjurian get that offensive line to set the tone. That offensive line is going to make or break this team this year. I know I talk about accuracy, I talk about the quarterback. The skill positions are obviously important, but it all starts with those front 5 guys. If those front 5 guys, a hat on a hat, can provide protection and open lanes, then your offense, regardless of who your coordinator is, can become incredibly flexible because you can get multiple guys out into routes. You can do all sorts of things because you're not having to compensate for the inability to block the front four and the occasional blitz. So that's it as far as a prediction. I think I went 24-17 on the show Thursday night. I'll double check that. But again, the scores I think are largely goofy in preseason. I do think you'll see a defensive score by the Bucs, though. I think that that's going to be one of the things that you'll see this year, that return the hallmark, the scoop and score approach, and hoping we'll see it because we saw a lot of dropped interceptions in practice. They've got to convert those to completed interceptions. I mean, there's a reason they're DBs and not receivers, but when you get an opportunity like that for a turnaround play, you've got to make that thing and get in the end zone. So hopefully you liked the video. Comment about it. Let me know if you liked it, and I'll see you guys after the game.